What's going on? Welcome to the Observant Lineman. I'm your Observant Lineman, Uche Waneri. Richard Sherman has a little something to say to Baker Mayfield about his antics before the 33-3 beatdown that the 49ers put on the Cleveland Browns last night. Let's go to the article. San Francisco 49ers didn't just get after Baker Mayfield on the field Monday night, they took him apart off it as well. Niners defensive back Richard Sherman said after the game that Browns quarterback refused to shake hands during the coin toss before the game. Now, come on guys, look. We all know sportsmanship is a part of the game. And we know that, and there are rivalries where teams may not shake hands necessarily before games, in like college and high school, stuff like that. But this is the NFL. I've never been in a game where you don't shake somebody's hand before the game. I mean, it's basically an etiquette thing, and I think that when you are a professional, you should act that way. And to kind of disrespect that mutual respect that you should have for your opponent, just simply based on the fact that you don't want anybody to get hurt. You want everybody to come out of the game clean, without any injuries, without anything that really, can knock a guy off as far as their career goes. That's part of what shaking the hand before a coin toss is about. It's about showing love to another professional and saying, hey, let's go out there, let's have a competitive game, let's have a fun game, and may the best team win. And, to go on in the article, it says, what's amazing, and they're quoting Richard Sherman here, what's amazing and annoying was him not shaking hands at the beginning. Sherman said, according to the NFL, that's some college shit. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that is some college shit. That's stuff that you do when, you're young and you're immature and you're an amateur. An amateur. Let me emphasize amateur. When you're amateur, those are the kinds of things you do. When you're a professional, you treat everything the same way. You treat everybody with the same level of respect. And Baker Mayfield he's walking a thin line right now. He's walking a thin line for a cat who ain't done nothing in the league, for a cat who don't got 10 wins, for a cat who don't got a playoff appearance, for a cat who can barely see over his offensive line. He sure does do a lot of shit talking. It's not sure where that's coming from. Is that the Napoleon complex he has, or what? Because true competitors don't need to talk. They let their game do the speaking. And this guy goes out there on Monday night, national television, and disrespects his fellow professionals by not shaking hands. Bum. You are an official bum in the Observant Lineman's book. Bum. Sherman says, we're all trying to get psyched up, but shaking hands with your opponent, that's NFL etiquette. Exactly. NFL etiquette. That's like if you sit down at a table to have dinner, you use a fork, you use a spoon. It's etiquette. You don't just throw your hands in there and start, pulling piles of food off a plate and stuffing it in your mouth. You use a fork. And when you pull Bush League stuff, that's disrespectful to the game. And believe me, that's going to get us fired up. And it got them fired up, and they put that fire all up on his ass all night last night. Wow. San Francisco defensive end Nick Bosa had his own retaliation on Mayfield. After harassing the QB into an intentional grounding call, he pretended to plant a flag, mocking Mayfield's planting an Oklahoma flag at Ohio Stadium in 2017 against Bosa's Buckeyes. Wow. So he planted an Oklahoma flag at the Horseshoe? Yeah, you asking for some shit then. You asking for some real trouble when you do that. I think everybody knows what that was for, Bosa said. I just wanted to get payback. He had it coming. So, just in my observations, it seems here that Baker Mayfield is a big-time shit talker. He doesn't respect his opponents. And, you know, when you look at that, not respecting the game, you know, as a player who hasn't really accomplished anything. I mean, he's not Patrick Mahomes. You know, he's not even close to Patrick Mahomes. Let's not even talk about that. And I mean, that's about as low on the rung as I can go, because that's the young guy. That's his second-year player. You know, I can't even really talk about him and any other veteran quarterbacks in the same breath, because that would be disrespectful to those quarterbacks. But you know, the guy they've blown his head up. Having OBJ, the yoked out artist, having OBJ out there must have given this guy some type of false sense of worth as far as his abilities as a football player, because he's way out of line with doing some of the things that he's doing and you know, acting the way he acts. So your just desserts were served to you. Says Sherman got his payback too, intercepting Mayfield on the Browns' second possession after the 49ers coasted to a 31-3 win. Okay, I messed that up in the beginning. I said 33-3. It's 31-3. Sherman was still surprised by Mayfield's pregame snub. Respect the game, Sherman said. You can have rivals, but pay your respect in that moment, especially when you're young. Exactly. When you're a young guy, you can't talk all this garbage. You can't be acting like you're better than the next. You can't be acting like you've been in the league for 10 years, because you ain't. And you ain't nothing until you prove it, till you earn your stripes. You know, and he hasn't really earned any stripes. How many wins does he have? I think I can count all his wins on one hand. So, you know, come on, dude, get with it. He hasn't earned anything in this league. Yeah, exactly. How many games has he won? He's acting like he was the MVP last year. If Patrick Mahomes did that, it would be one thing, but he would never do that because he has too much respect for the game. So I think we can all see here that Baker Mayfield needs to be brought back down to earth. Hopefully this 31-3 shellacking does just that. And when you see a guy who doesn't, you humble him every chance you get, because eventually he will have respect for the game, or he'll be out of it. And there's no truer statement than that. I mean, I've seen a lot of guys who have not respected or taken for granted the fact that they were in the NFL, and before you know it, they were gone. And a lot of times they were gone because of self-inflicted wounds. So, you know, you got to have respect for this game. If you ain't got respect for it, you know, bad things can happen. And a lot of times bad things do happen. Look at Antonio Clown. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to The Observant Lineman. I am your Observant Lineman, Uche Waneri. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.